Last week on the Personal Growth Podcast with Perza and Cole, we discussed the first 5 of the 10 life skills as given to us by Jim Rohn.
You're listening to the Personal Growth Podcast with Perza and Cole.
Thank you for that, Eric.
No problem.
Sweet. Okay, so we are currently recording at TriPoint Studios.
Yeah. Dope.
It's pretty hella. It's super awesome. A good friend of mine is allowing us this space to create in.
Yeah, we've got a producer now.
Yeah.
Third episode, we've got a producer.
We're kind of big deals around here.
Suck on that, other people who don't have a producer for their podcast.
I'm actually super stoked about this.
I mean, talk about personal growth, right? We grew by one whole member.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. We're going to the next 5 of the 10 life skills as brought to us by Jim Rohn.
Let's recap the first 5.
Okay, just real quick.
Yeah, we don't have to go through like the explanation or anything. Just
okay.
Learning the power of purpose, self-confidence, enthusiasm, expertise, and preparation. Those are the first 5, and now we move on to number 6, the power of self-reliance. Dwayne?
Okay, so self-reliance and the power of self-reliance. Something that comes to mind whenever I hear that, like, just as what it is coming from the recovery scene. There's this concept of being self-sufficient, and you'd be surprised at how often people that are in active addiction are incapable of providing the necessities for themselves honestly.
Right.
You know, for me, it had gotten to a point where the only thing that was necessary was drugs, and every ounce of energy going into that and anything left over is just like a bonus, I guess, right? So something that in that whole recovery scene that is said pretty often to people who are newly just coming into sobriety or recovery or whatever, it's like if you used half of the energy that you used to get high and drunk all the time on like doing the good shit in your life, like imagine how successful you would be.
Oh yeah, and every single one of my teachers in school during parent-teacher conferences would say the same, a variation of that, with that if he would spend as much time doing his classwork as he does trying to entertain his classmates, he'd be at the top of the class.
Yeah.
So it applies to all walks of life.
Yeah. Like the energy that we use on the shit that isn't necessary, if we put it into creating the momentum going in the direction that we want to go, we'd be unstoppable, right? And so as far as self-reliance goes, I think whenever Jim Rohn was talking about it, he was talking more about kind of from a business perspective. But if you kind of look at your life as a business, the same principles are going to apply in every area of your life. Like,
well, yeah, because I mean, what do they say? You're born alone, you die alone, right?
Right.
You know, a very cynical way to look at it is like, well, you can't depend on anybody anyway, so you might as well make sure that you're taking care of things yourself.
Right.
And there's also like, well, if you want it done it right, if you want to get it done right, get it done yourself. You know what I mean? So like it's
and touche on the cynical point of view there. Like in my opinion, it's just like using a different variation of the words can make it sound a lot more like sugar coated. But basically, it's saying like
you can't count on anybody but yourself.
Yeah, and I think to a certain extent, the not relying on anyone else is like you should have everything that you need to be able to be who you want to be.
Right.
And so like human nature is to want companionship, food, shelter, you know, like the hierarchy of needs. Is that Maslow?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, that's neither here nor there. There is a hierarchy of needs, like food, shelter, companionship. There's more. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but like this idea that wanting things is good to the extent of as long as our happiness isn't dependent on those things external from ourselves.
Right.
And so, and saying happiness too, I think from a personal development, personal growth point of view, like you got to kind of reframe what happiness means. Like there's highs and lows of life, like just like heartbeats. And if you try to get into this, like where there's no longer any highs and lows, then you're flatlining. And that's what death looks like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's true.
A long while ago, I had like made this meme that I thought was really fucking cool. It was like, you can't have the rainbow without the rain. And I had like rainbow with a background color of a rainbow, and then rain being like the raindrops or whatever. And I think it kind of applies in that same way of the highs and lows of life. Like, you can't enjoy the good stuff if you never had any bad stuff.
Yeah, it's like that. I can't believe I'm about to quote 50 Cent on a podcast.
I believe that's not true. You believe it?
You know, he's got one song where he was like, "Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain."
Oh yeah.
Death's got to be easy because life is hard. Things like that.
Yeah.
You get the yin and the yang. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
This I tell you, brother. I'm sorry, folks. I'm very tired. It's been a very long day.
You're delusional. This guy.
Little bit.
That you bringing up yin and yang reminded me of like there's that like dissected yin and yang where it says it's like the two little circles and it says the good and the bad, and then the two half circles and it says the good and the bad, and then it says like the good inside the bad and the bad inside the good, and then it combines it all at the end. And it's yin and yang.
Yeah, like my marriage was bad, but from that came my son, which is good.
Absolutely, most of the time.
Yeah, for the most part, he's a good kid.
Yeah. Well, if he's got a dad like you, I'm sure he's a pretty good kid.
Aw, that's very sweet. Thank you. I try.
Sorry, I just drank some water. I was thirsty.
Don't apologize for drinking water. Your body needs water.
It absolutely does.
You should never apologize for hydrating yourself.
Okay.
Personal growth. Bam.
Bam. Hydrate yourself. So, back on track with self-reliance.
Yes.
Something that Jim Rohn said, like, totally blows my mind. Like, becoming the person who never complains and never explains.
Yeah, I got a couple of couple of questions.
Is it questions or critiques?
Maybe not quite. But critiques is the better word. I feel like thinking you never have to explain yourself is a little fucking high-handed. You know what I mean? Like, if I just made unilateral decision, like let's say I just decided that this is the school my son's going to go to, and these are the things he's going to eat, and this is what he's going to like, without explaining it to his mother. I can't get away with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're at work and all of a sudden you decide, well, I've got a better way to file these things than these people have been doing, and you just go ahead and do it, and you don't explain why you've done it, then everybody else is going to be looking at you like, who's this asshole who thinks he can come in here and just start doing his own thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like in some situations it's necessary and the polite thing to do.
Okay.
To explain yourself.
I feel you 100%. Now, I'm going to take a little step back here.
I knew you would.
And try to reframe this in the way that I like to. So whenever he's saying that, what I have interpreted that to mean is, like, have you ever heard the phrase, let your actions speak so loud that no one can hear you?
No. I've heard actions speak louder than words.
So this is a very similar frame of mind. Let your actions speak so loud that no one can hear you, meaning that, like, it doesn't matter how loud you're talking. Like, in reality, you can be like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and blah, 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 but there are no results, right?
Right.
I've had lots of friends that are good talkers, smooth talkers.
Oh, yeah.
But they ain't doing shit with their lives, you know? Like,
Guilty.
well, I don't. You mean you have been guilty of that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Fair. Okay.
Over and over again throughout my life.
Yeah.
Without question.
Okay.
I'm very good at telling people what I want to do, and also very good at not getting any of it done.
Yeah, but I think even more so, like what I'm talking about is people that are saying that they're doing things, but they don't have the results to back it up.
What,
Like you're saying, I want to, and that's, I mean, you should want to, but like, when does I want to become I must?
That's what I've been struggling with.
Well, until what I want to becomes I must for you, like somewhere in there, you're gonna have to find your reason why, right?
Yeah.
And if your why isn't bigger than your why not, you'll never do it.
Well, see, maybe it's just who I am as a person. But
Well, that's a cop out.
But like, I want to be 30 pounds lighter. And the reason that I want to be 30 pounds lighter is because I don't want to drop dead of a heart attack when I'm 40. But that doesn't stop me from putting down the fork. You know, like it's for whatever reason, maybe it's a mental block. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that I think about doing it, and then I'm like, well, then I got to get gym clothes, and I got to go to the gym, or even to like get off the couch and do a sit-up. I'm just like, meh.
Okay.
So it's a very hard, like, and I don't know, maybe I don't think I'm alone in that line of thinking, because
No,
I feel
you're
like,
absolutely not.
but for
People
me,
wouldn't have like used a gym membership for 30 days and then never touched it again. Well, it's open for the next year.
yeah,
Like that. More often than not, people that get a gym membership don't use it very often.
no, because it's a chore.
Yeah, but that's a mental construction.
Yeah,
You've created that image in your head about working out.
Absolutely, I have. Yeah, I won't deny that for a second.
Look, I'll tell you something right now. Whenever you get past your mental barriers that you've created for yourself in association with working out, and you start seeing the results that you want, the momentum from seeing those results, not just like an outwardly expression of those results, but the internal expression of those results, like the higher metabolisms, the emotional elation, because like you're dealing with dopamine and endorphins and serotonin that your body naturally wants to release, and whenever that stuff's flooding through your body,
endorphins make you happy, and happy people just don't kill their husbands.
Absolutely. I have no idea where that came from.
Legally Blonde.
Oh shit, dude, I'm not.
Reese
We're gonna do
Witherspoon.
every episode. There's gonna be at least one thing that I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's all right. You spent a lot of years cloudy, my man.
Fair.
A lot of years.
That's totally fair.
A lot of catching up to do, but you really don't, because they're just fucking things. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I'm
Legally Blonde doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Although
Reese Witherspoon.
it does
is
have a
fine.
pretty good message about being self-reliant, if I may tie it all into what we're talking about.
Nice.
Because she's told, you can't go to law school. You're not smart enough. And she was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to do it. And she does it and fucking graduates at the top of her class. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah. Hella. Okay, I think that we should move on.
Yes.
Because like this,
Yes.
what we were just talking about, I think is a good transition to the next topic.
Absolutely.
Image.
The way that others see you and the way that you see yourself. If others don't see you as a leader or in control, they are not likely to follow.
So, I mean, I wrote a lot of notes there, and that's just the first little tidbits. But like you were talking just now about wanting to lose 30 pounds.
Yes.
Because image is the next topic, the topic that we're on right now.
Right.
When you say, I want to lose 30 pounds, like you implied that it was because of health reasons, right?
Yeah.
So what would you look like and feel like what kind of image would you have 30 pounds lighter?
The image of somebody who doesn't get winded walking down the block, or who can walk upstairs without going. or who can chase his son